To defeat an enemy, you must know them. Not just their battle tactics, but their history, philosophy, art. Welcome to the Chiss Ascendancy podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to
the Chiss Ascendancy.
You are listening, watching, and enjoying episode 128 of the Chiss Ascendancy podcast. Hey, thanks for tuning in, and we have quite a treat on our hands
A
here.
real treat. A real treat,
governor. We are going to be giving a quick breakdown and review of episodes 1 and 2 of the new Maul Shadow Lord show. Just came out today. So as of right now, it is late at night on April the 6th, meaning that this morning or throughout the day, you were able to watch the first 2 episodes. First things first, Samuel, you guys moved recently. How have things been? How's the move?
Josiah, thanks for tuning in out here in the field. As you can see, there are no more boxes in the living room. Which
fantastic.
I know, enormous success. Oh, actually, we can introduce the show to my friend Alfie. Oh, arms in the way. There he is.
Oh, there's Alfred.
He's so cute. He's sleeping. He's a sleepy guy. I am wearing pants, and no, things are great. We're getting settled. We have our own kitchen again. That's exciting, and now the big TV that we had behind us in previous episodes is in the bedroom.
Yes. Fantastic.
So I watched all 85 inches of Maul Shadow Lord from the comfort of my bed this morning.
How does he do it?
I don't know. Tripod, ham hog, third leg.
I actually set an alarm to wake up at 2 this morning to watch it when it first came out. And for some reason, I either slept through it or it didn't go off at all. And my 2 younger kids, Lucy and Houston, individually came to my bed throughout the night, and we, pick them up, put them back in bed, change their diaper, do whatever. And I kept looking at my phone, and I was like, any second now the alarm will go off. I'll just go back to sleep and then go back into REM sleep. And then finally woke up again at 7:30. So it was time to get the boys ready for school, and totally missed my window. So I actually found a little bit of downtime at work and indulged in episode 1 and 2. So
I always found, I don't know why I associate the word indulge with like chocolate commercials.
Mm-hmm.
You ever feel like they use the word indulgent in chocolate commercials quite a bit?
I cannot recall a specific time that's
I
been
would
used,
say,
but I'm not sure.
Yes.
I believe you.
In the comments, you feel like indulge is used in chocolate commercials a lot? Let's get a poll.
I thought you were gonna. There was an awkward pause there because I thought you were gonna like pull up a story or something. But yeah, I definitely can see chocolate being like an indulgent being a chocolate word. So we've got Maul Shadow Lord. Super excited about it. We did not get invited out to Lucasfilm headquarters, believe it or not, to watch the first 2 episodes. I just kept refreshing the email, refresh, never got it.
Yeah, what was that about?
But what was that about? I don't know. But that's definitely like real talk. That would be freaking. That's the goal, is to, get sent stuff ahead of time to watch and review, or to get brought out to do something like that. That's just, I think the thing for me is that's just the Star Wars universe recognizing your passion. And so that would be super cool. So stoked for all those guys who got to do that. We watched them today. And so episode 1, you've got The Dark Revenge, and episode 2 is Sinister Schemes. And so we're very excited to break it down. So kind of like our old school style in back in our Mandalorian review episodes, we want to give, first of all, our overall thoughts. After that, we'll rate the episodes on a scale of 1 to 10. Okay. Just coming out and saying it, probably 10s out of 10s on these first two. And then standout moment, new characters, and what is next. So if you've been watching the podcast for a while, you're familiar with that style that we've put out there before, where basically, trying to predict or prophesy, if you will, what the future holds for said characters. And so, Samuel, give me your overall thoughts on episodes 1 and 2. What were the vibes?
Vibes were immaculate, my friend.
The vibes
really
were
enjoyed
vibing on
them.
this show. They really were.
They were clicking, and I had a great time. I know I had discussed previously when we were reading the Maul comic, which one, very cool for them to connect pretty much seamlessly into the story of the show, because sometimes the comics will introduce characters that you don't really see much of, but even on like the screen when they're doing their little debriefing talking about the criminal element in the community, we got to see two of the guys that were in the background in these first couple of episodes, which is just really neat to see that level of connection, because usually you don't get that, in my opinion, from comics and books to shows and movies, unless of course it's like something that came after the fact, but leading into it and then being kind of connected like that, you don't see that much. So I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, there's a lot of times that they will add something after the fact to bring some connective tissue to something. We saw a lot of that with the sequel trilogies of like, so what was going on with this person? They're like, oh yes, we're gonna write a book about that. But this, obviously, the writers of the comic are obviously in tandem with Filoni and all those guys working on the show. I will say my hopes were very high.
Smart.
Yeah. My hopes were very high, and then I was very disappointed this morning when I slept through my alarm. And so I then watched when I was able to, and it was very good, very much what I was hoping for it to be. And really, honestly, Maul is getting in these last several years, but especially I can definitely tell just from the jump in this show, Maul is going to get the treatment that I was hoping for Boba Fett in the Book of Boba. We got some good Boba Fett, but just like the depth of character that we're already getting from Maul is so good. And so overall thoughts, I thought they were really good. Honestly, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being like episode 3 of The Acolyte and 10 being the finale of season 2 of The Mandalorian.
Power of poo.
The power of doo-doo. I would say these are up there, dude. Like, really, honestly, I was very, very excited. Neither one of the episodes did anything that disappointed me, and both of them had me wanting to watch the next episode. So when episode 2 was finished, I was intensely jealous of those, because there was a group of people who got to go out to Lucasfilm headquarters and watch. It was like a fan screening event, and they got to watch the first 2 episodes, the same as what we just got to watch. And then there was a different group of people that got to watch the first 8 episodes. I think that it was probably just sent to them securely, like, hey, here's the first 8 episodes, watch at your leisure. And that way, when what they're doing is, getting early eyes on it. So
watch at my leisure, you mean right now for the next 2 hours?
Yeah. So, and the idea is when those episodes drop, you'll have people who already have reviews up and stuff like that, which obviously is good press.
I'm jealous of that.
So that's what I was thinking about when episode 2 finished. And obviously today we're going to get into spoilers. So hopefully you've watched the show, or you don't plan on watching the show, or you don't care about spoilers.
Watched the show and you've read the first episode of the comic and
everything.
You really like them.
But hopefully. At the very end of episode 2, where Devin uses the Force to open up the back end of her cell, I was very much like, okay, like, where's episode 3? So I would rate both of these highly. If you want to say 10s, that's fine.
You know how I am with my 10s. I keep those. I don't know if I've ever given a 10. I would give.
What's a 10? If you had to name.
I don't even know. I'll know it when I see it. I'll give these.
Is there anything that's come out that you could say like closest possible to a 10 in Star Wars TV?
I think really strong contenders for what I think could have been a 10 would be the Dooku episodes of Tales of the Jedi.
Yes. Strong agree.
With
okay.
If I made some tweaks,
Mhm.
those would be 10s. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Honestly, my only gripe is that they weren't longer and I didn't get more Qui-Gon content.
Yeah, that's fair. So
I guess
you
my
would say
10s
these
are
like
kind of
8.5,
stupid
you
because
said?
they have to be really good and also I have to be happy about it. That's a hard duo to nab, but I give these high 8s, low 9s for sure.
Okay, those are really good.
That's a common man's 10, I would say.
Yeah, I agree. That's my 10. What were your overall? Just obviously, it's already late at night and everything. We don't have to do a super long ep, but give me your overall feeling watching the show. What were the, obviously we said the vibes were vibing. I put on my dirty Darth Maul shirt from yesterday that I was wearing, but I'm also
That's
wearing
awesome.
my Grand Admiral jacket. Just a little bit of something for everyone. But
and your Darth Maul hat.
As you're watching it, yeah, exactly. You got to be at home, so you had like full attention, not worrying about anybody coming up and trying to talk to you or nothing like that. So full undivided attention, getting to watch it. Is there anything else that you would compare this to? Anything else that, or is this its own thing?
What I was going to say, I guess, enjoyment wise, or when we're talking comparison,
like I guess tones, like other Star Wars shows. Are there other things that you're like, oh, it's just like it feels like this?
Well, and I know we were talking about this in the when we were doing the comic breakdown episode. And I had said I want it to be dark. Like I want it to be like the hard-hitting episodes of the Clone Wars where you're like, is this a kid show? And I feel like I got what I wanted in that regard because it was there were like, little silly moments. You have two boots. And I do appreciate that a lot of the comic centered on Lawson and Two Boots because it gave a lot of flavor to those characters going into the show. So you don't have to spend a lot of time focusing on that storyline to develop that character because it's already happened, which is something I really appreciate about the partnership between the comic and the show so far. I
really thought Two Boots was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think he was silly without being too silly. We didn't get like any phone calls for Hux's mom. But he had like
the other
nice
thing
flavor.
is, he has a good flavor. He has the typical droid comic relief, like what we got with K2, but similar to K2. And this stood out to me, and I was going to ask if it stood out to you. He's got the silly, like, like when he's like, how's your calf? And he's like, I can't drink that. I just hold the cup for the sentiment or whatever, But when they're in,
are you going to talk about how he apologized for the stench?
No, that was funny too. But I thought it was cool.
Well, I just thought it was funny because he's like, can't drink calf, but I can smell.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't have this sense, but I have that sense.
So does he have a sense of smell?
I mean, you'd have to assume so.
Or was he just like, I know this guy stinks?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe he's like,
I assume maybe his, he can see that there's stinky stuff on there. That's a good question. But I was going to say, I loved the contrast from, it reminded me of K2 where you had a contrast from the silliness to the efficiency. Like he's silly,
straight man, funny man.
Yeah, but whenever he's in the hallway of the prison and Spybot is trying to lock the doors, Two Boots actually gets the best of him and unlocks the doors.
Yeah, I did.
So he's not just like bumbling idiot; like he's very good at what he does as well, which is pretty cool. You get both of those.
Yeah, I do appreciate that. I am really enjoying Dark Side Chopper, which is what I'm personally thinking of Spybot as. Like, Spybot is Chopper if he wasn't hitched. I mean,
Chopper's pretty dark
rebels.
as it is too.
Yeah, but now he gets to be with people that encourage those traits. You know what I mean?
And they're not trying to
enjoying like the little.
They're not trying to call him back to the light.
No. He's fully dark. Well, and I really appreciate too that I watch my shows with closed captions because sometimes I like to snack and I can't hear my show over my snacking, and so the captions just stay on. And so Spybot is saying things that, like, if you're just listening to it, it's just going to sound like robot noises, but in the
Yeah.
captions, like, no, you don't. And I was
Yeah.
really enjoying
I did like that too.
the little sidebars you get from Spybot.
There was one, oh man, Will from the Determined Focus podcast posted one. Let me find it. There was one that stood out to me too, and then he posted it, and I thought that was so funny. Let's see. Oh, he takes off and he goes, Booshkadoo.
Yeah, I was like, dude,
I thought that was funny.
Booshkadoo is that's my new vocal stem for like a month, probably. Booshkadoo.
Yeah, Booshkadoo was awesome. And then like whenever they're going in the hallway of the prison, he was like, no. Yeah, Spybot is like, very, very cool. I like
nothing
Spybot
to see
a lot.
here.
Yeah,
he's
nothing to see
he's
here.
Freaking awesome, dude. I also appreciated when he stunned Devin while she's trying to run away, and he's like, I don't want to play this game anymore. Stun bolt right to the back.
Boop. Okay, and then obviously moving right along, so we've got some good ratings. You said high 8s, low 9s. I said 10 for 1, like 9 for 2, or 9.5 for 1, 9 for 2.
Here's the thing, and it's like, I know I'm just that annoying professor that doesn't want to give a 100 to a paper, but experientially, every time the screen went black to change scenes, I was like, oh my God, is it over?
Yes.
Like, I just didn't want it to end. You know what I mean? And I was like, dude, they've got me real good. I just want it to keep going. Because I was like, I know the episode's
that's a great point. I thought the same thing.
So it is real that every time the screen goes black, that's just the end of it. Because it's not like, you get your 23 minutes and, it's going to be over at 23, but you get those 23. It's like, I don't know, maybe 15 this time. So
and they wounded us with the Tales of the Jedi because you were getting some really hot Dooku Qui-Gon action, and then you'd be like, man, this is so good. And they'd be like, the end. And I'd be like, what the heck? So I actually found myself, I watched on an iPad.
Well,
I found myself tapping the screen. Yeah. I found myself tapping the screen and being like, oh, thank God, I have 8 more minutes.
To see how much time was left.
Yeah. Okay.
It's so kind of like the TV show experience of me sleeping. You know what I mean? Like, you wake up at 4 in the morning, you're like, oh, good, it's only 4.
You're like, it's only 4. Thank God. Standout moments for you. So without going into, obviously the whole thing's been good so far, but some standout moments for you from the first couple episodes.
I do enjoy that there are some silly elements without it being too silly. Excuse me. I think some of the funnier, like, subtle jokes, like, I don't know if it's intentional, but like one of the main crime lords is named Looty. Like, he's just looting. You know what I mean? Like, that's just if that is intentional, that's hilarious to me. I loved that we didn't have to go along for the ride before we got to see some cool Maul content.
Yes. I thought that too. I thought, he was right there at the beginning. I was very, very grateful for that. I agree.
Oh yeah. Well, and it's not even just like, oh cool, he like deflected a shot one time. He's doing some cool stuff, like taking out the whole Pike Syndicate ship. His whole gang is so cocky because they know that Maul is on their side. And that's such a cool kind of rep that he has with his own crew, that they're like, I don't care who's coming, Darth Maul's on our side, and they cannot compete. Like, they're like, let's go infiltrate an entire prison with 4 of us because Maul's on our side. Yeah.
And they got the whole, at the very beginning when they got they stole the money from that first crime syndicate, and then the cops get there and they're outnumbered like 3 full squad cars of police officers to their like 4 or 5 Mandos and a couple of Zabraks, and Rook Cast, who is voiced by Vanessa Marshall, who I am 99% sure does Hera. She did a great job, and she's like, guess we should give them what they want. And she clearly knows that freaking Maul's getting ready to walk down the ramp, So I thought that was really cool. I'll name you a moment that really stood out to me from the first episode that I think we'll get more of. Okay. There's a moment where it's one of your first dialogue moments with Maul, and Rook Cast walks up behind him, and it looks like you can kind of see, you can't see Maul's full face yet, but he's like this, and she says, "You're having another vision," and I thought that was really really
Yeah.
cool because uh, clearly something's going on where he's either had visions before or is currently having visions, or something's going on that
Yeah.
she's privy to. That's like his lieutenant, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was really really cool, and he keeps talking about an apprentice that he's being drawn to, and so
It definitely gives a lot of early credibility to the Darth Talon allegations. We may be going down that route.
yes. Yeah, I thought the same thing. Obviously, you know, we don't know if they're going to go that route or whatever. They definitely have considered it, I would imagine.
I sure would love it.
Once you have someone like a Dave Filoni who like has full control or has handed control down to people like Brad Rao, um, and Sam Witwer is a pretty strong Star Wars fan himself. You have to know that when Maul takes on an apprentice, and the apprentice is going to be, or try to, and the apprentice is going to be female Twi'lek, like they had to know, hey, the hardcore fans who are going to be watching
just kind
the
of
show,
has red skin a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. And they said they wanted to honor, I think it was Filoni that said he wanted to honor George's plans for Maul. Like obviously they can't get all the way fleshed out or whatever, but he talks about that. You know, the reason, one of the ways that I know that the show is so good is that I'm so bummed right now that I know Maul's ultimate end. Like I'm so excited for the potential of the character in the show and the way that it's going so far. Just 2 episodes in, and we're going to get 10 this season, and we've already got a second season greenlit. So we're going to get potentially 20 episodes of this version of Maul, and 2 episodes in, he's already got me so excited that I'm like, well, this sucks. He's going to go totally manic and get killed by Obi-Wan. You know, are you, did you kind of have that same feeling?
I'm just like a journey kind of guy. You know what I mean? So, it almost kind of takes the edge off because you're like, oh my God, I hope he makes it. So now that you know where he dies, it's kind of like that, you know, when a movie starts at the end, you're like, yep, that's me. Bet you're wondering how I got here.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so now that I know that he dies by the hand of Ben on Tatooine, now I just want to be like, I don't know, what kind of cool stuff did he get up to in the meanwhile?
Yeah.
You know, before he,
well, it's kind of like we went
into,
we went into Revenge of the Sith all those years ago, knowing something's going to happen to Anakin. That's really terrible. Let's put him in the suit for forever.
Yeah.
And obviously that's still a lot of people's, you know, top 2 or 3 movies, if not a lot of people's favorite movie. So, Maul having a vision just, really stood out to me.
Really trying to enjoy it while I'm on the journey. You know what I mean? Because I won't get to watch it for the first time again.
Yes. Yeah, I'm trying to be super present with it because I can see a world where this could become my favorite animated show.
Dude, it's not already up there for me.
It's not going to get like 8 seasons like 7 seasons like the Clone Wars, but they've already gotten 2 greenlit, and I can see a world where even if it only gets 2 or if it gets 3, where the quality is so crammed into those 2 or 3 seasons that it could bounce up. You know, there's some episodes of Clone Wars, or there's some episodes of Rebels, or some episodes of Bad Batch that I am more fond of than others. And there's some that I'll just keep going back to. And I can see this where it's like, this is that one out. This show could be that one album that's like, there's no skips. I'm not skipping anything. Because it's so good. Like the freaking, I don't know, the character's name is Icarus, but the Zabrak with the old school Lego bandana and the chain gun is freaking sick. Rook Cast is sick. Obviously Maul's doing great. So this takes us to the next portion of the episode that we used to do back in the day, where we would talk about new characters. Now obviously there could be other standout moments.
Most characters are new.
Yeah. So let's take a little chunk of the episode and take a few minutes and really go through some of these characters. And I've got IMDb pulled up here on screen with me, and
Mhm.
I'll kind of name some of these characters. You give me your thoughts, and we'll just kind of go down the list. Okay.
Okay.
So,
go for it.
Maul, obviously we know about. And then right after that, we've got Luti Vario. This is
Hilarious
the
name. I
little
love that so
alien
much.
guy. This
Kazdan
guy was
Paratus.
just Kazdan Paratus's little species. I love that they did the mech suit for him.
Yeah.
Like the whole species is just like compensating for their tiny size. Like Kazdan Paratus had like a force held together mech suit. This guy had a mech suit, and this guy
I
was
really
probably
liked the joke that Demas made, where he's like, "At least I fill out my suit."
Yeah, at least I
Which
fit
is
the suit.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, he was. I mean, he was only there for 2 seconds, but he was really cool. And I thought that Vario was kind of the surprise, the little diamond in the rough surprise character I didn't really expect much from, who was one of my favorites of the first 2 episodes. I loved his personality. Like whenever Maul comes back from robbing the Pikes, and he's like, "Was it right or was it right? Or was it right? I was right."
Yeah. All right, we're
I like
friends.
that one
Let's
a lot.
party.
And then of course, okay, I'm just gonna touch the major one. Obviously, I'm not gonna like go through every single voice actor, but Spybot. We've talked a little bit about Spybot. Love Spybot.
Love Spybot.
Is Spybot your new favorite character? Your favorite new character of the show?
He is hilarious, and I love what he adds to the team. He's a well-rounded guy. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I am intrigued by Master Iko Diodaki.
Yes,
which is the name of
I
the
think
Jedi
he's going to
Master.
be
I had to
really
look that up
fun.
because it's unnamed, but it is interesting. The pursuit we're seeing of Lawson, where he's like, okay, well, something has gone amiss. I've got to get, involved to some extent. I did love the Star Wars trope of the Sith convenient inconvenience, where they've just got to like partially ruin something in the vicinity of a Jedi so they can have a clean getaway.
Yeah.
I did
that
think
was
it was
very,
funny that
like,
Lawson's reaction was like, "Hey, are you okay?" Instead of being like, "Oh my god, a Force user."
Yeah.
It was
And
just, I don't know.
you get a really,
That was so
and
fun.
I don't know, we don't know how much of Lawson's backstory we're going to get, but he clearly has zero love for the Empire and wants zero involvement from the Empire on Janix. And so he,
Right. And you get that sense from
obviously
the
he
comic as well, that
sees-
he's like, we don't want their
Yeah.
interference.
we don't want them here. And so we may, you never know, we may, he may not be as like worried about the presence of a Jedi in a negative sense, as in the grand galaxy right now. Jedi are seen as like cultists that tried to murder the chancellor / emperor. So he may have a different perspective because he clearly doesn't have trust for the Empire.
He's got no love for the Empire, and I think more than that, he wants to keep things local. He's a small business supporter. You know what I mean? He just doesn't want the complications of the Empire's involvement. So he's like, let's sort this out in-house, keep it quiet. Which I can appreciate.
Yeah, and I think he realizes also, like, once the Empire is involved, they're not going to be uninvolved. So like,
and I am enjoying,
once the cat's out of the bag, you can't put him back in.
Yeah, I'm enjoying a bit of a tension here where it's not like somebody is an extremist in either direction. Like it's either somebody's always so pro-Empire or so anti-Empire that they're just going to be a fanatic in a regard either direction. But we have a guy that's just kind of doing his own thing. And I do like that.
Yeah. He is a very likable character.
Yeah.
I don't really know.
He's got Talon Card vibes, man.
He's got Talon Card meets Andor vibes. Maybe I don't know. The voice is kind of a mixture of the two as well. I don't know. His
I don't know.
I don't know, but I like him a lot. he gives me Cassian vibes. And yeah, Master Iko Diodaki is a really fun character so far, and powerful too. Not like Jedi on the
Yeah.
run, low on the rung. Like some of the stuff he was doing was pretty intense as far as, you know,
Yeah.
he not only does he save those people on the bridge, but by the time he's done, he puts the bridge like, you know, not that it's all the way fixed, but like he
Pretty much
pushes it
back in
back
place.
together in such a fashion that it's like holding itself back. Um,
Yeah.
you know what? I'm not always a huge fan of like uh young girl with an attitude character, but I don't know what it is about her. But Devin Izara, who is going to be the character that Maul is trying to lure to his apprenticeship, who obviously is the apprentice of Master Diodaki, and I don't know what it is about her. Maybe it's the interactions between her and Maul that are so fascinating, but I thought that she was a really cool character as well.
She's definitely I don't know. I think generally the frustration with that type of character is that it's always like, oh, I've just had a hard past and I'm so soft on the inside. But there's clearly some sort of more complex conflict within her where she is seeming to become disillusioned with the Jedi. But when she's presented with, the deviance from Maul, where she's like, well, I still believe in those principles. But when you see her on her own, she was like, I'm tired of begging. I'm getting ready to steal. You know
Yes.
what I
Yeah,
mean?
there's an internal
So you
conflict
kind
for
of
sure.
see that, teetering on her own, but she is still like trying to defend where she came from when she's presented with opposition. But maybe she's like, I don't know, maybe dark side's not so bad.
Yeah.
So
And I
I don't know.
think
I
that
think it's usually
also
we see this type of character courted by a kinder character that's like light side adjacent. And so it's interesting to see her being courted by a dark side character.
yeah, whenever it's a character, guy or girl, being like a little, preteen or teenage brat, and the good guy's
Yeah.
like, hey, you don't have to be that way with me. I know you're hurting.
Yeah.
Maul is like, let me tell
I
you about a
get
power
it.
that, yeah, let me tell you about a power that the Jedi never would have told you about. And it's interesting because he's very what he's saying is very convincing. You know what I mean? He's
Yeah.
very
Well, we're
like,
definitely
look,
seeing the type of Maul that we see with Ezra, where
yeah,
he's like patient old master. I'm gonna woo you with my ways.
woo you with my
You know what I mean?
ways. And he also has not been handed whatever ultimate defeat sends him off scampering that when we rediscover him in Rebels. So
Yeah,
he
somewhere between
is,
Solo and Rebels, something devastating happens, but we're not quite yet to
yeah,
Solo. So
we're pre there.
I am enjoying seeing him deal with the crime syndicates in the way that he does in the Clone Wars when he's
Yes.
creating the Shadow Collective. Just taking off his enemies one by one. I'm enjoying that.
Yeah. And he's basically going to build it all the way up to Sidious, he says. So we'll see.
Pretty cool.
Okay, a few other new characters. We have Richard. I'm going to butcher this last name. Richard Ayoade as Two Boots. He's the guy from the IT crowd.
Yes. I
And
was like, of
Two
course,
Boots
this is his
obviously.
voicing that character.
Yeah,
After reading
yeah,
his personality in the comics, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, we're doing that again. Welcome
yeah,
back, Mr. Krabs.
yeah. We've
This
talked.
is,
Yeah, we've
he's how
talked.
many characters is he voicing now in animated Star Wars?
I don't
I mean,
know.
he also plays Zero and Mando. Um, so
Oh,
yeah,
does he really?
he's gonna
I
be the
forgot
new
about
Mr.
that.
Krabs. Yeah.
And then Icarus is the trigger happy chain gun. Zabrak, which is really cool. We talked a little bit about
Scorn is the skinny
Lawson.
one.
And then the other thing that's cool is Marg Grimm, who's the head of the Pikes, is being voiced by Steven Stanton, who was the voice of Tarkin from Clone Wars and Bad Batch.
Interesting.
So lots of really, really cool
What range?
characters. What range? Yeah. A little bit of everything. And then let me ask you this. Okay, so we're only 2 episodes in. There's going to be 10 this season, and then we have all next season as well. What do you like, whether it's in next episode or by the end of this season, at the end of the show, just give me a couple of thoughts on what you hope to see from the show maybe just a prediction or something fun. What's next?
Mm. My biggest hope is that we do see the emergence of Darth Talon. I think that would be a wonderful gateway into a lot of Star Wars content that I think Star Wars fans have been wanting, not just for the sake of Darth Talon, but for the sake of exploring that side of Star Wars in visual media as much as it was in stories and books and stuff and EU.
Do you think if we do get that right, if the Darth Talon character, or maybe she's not Darth, just Talon, whatever, if that archetype, if the character that they're basing off of Darth Talon, let's say, takes place by the end of the show, does she just go off into her own realm and we see her in future projects? Or you're okay with the character opening and closing in the show?
I mean, every character has to open and close. I would not, if that does happen, if she emerges and it's clear that she's going to deviate from Maul before Rebels, it would be interesting to see her introduced in some of like the Mando era media, as like maybe just some sort of interruption or some recoalescence with Thrawn trying to establish some sort of offensive against the rebellion, as Thrawn would call it.
Yeah, it's interesting. Sometimes I wonder, there's this giant gap from, so Mandoverse is somewhere, we don't know how far out they're going to play
6
it,
years
but
at ABY.
yeah, 5 to
Or I guess
7 years after Endor.
Yeah.
And then you have 30 years after Endor is the sequel trilogy. And I think the problem is that the sequel trilogy did not land how people were hoping it was going to land at Disney. And so they've kind of stopped, not altogether, but they're not focusing on that place in time right now. And so there's going to be a lot of characters that open and close in that 30-year gap. And you just have to be careful how much of a dark sider is used in that time period, or how much of an imperial threat or things like that, because the First Order is supposed to be like, hey, the Empire for sure is gone, we don't even need our army anymore, dun, 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 and then all of a sudden the First Order takes over the whole galaxy. So you may even see, if she does develop into some kind of powerful dark side, female character, you may even see her in the far, far future, because she's clearly young in this show. She's I don't know the exact age, but she's meant to be some type of a, late teens, early 20s type of character. So this could be someone that could, if she does turn dark and all that kind of stuff, could be a far future issue for someone like Rey as well.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't even hate like seeing her maybe even take up Maul's mantle in the future, because Maul kind of deviates from necessarily the Sith agenda into just how much power can I grab for myself. And if she's, for lack of a better word, studying under Maul, it would make sense if you see her doing something mirroring Maul's actions now in the future. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. One thing that I was thinking about last night, I was kind of passing in and out of consciousness, waiting for 2:00 to arrive, which actually flew past me. But one thing that I was thinking about was, I heard there were going to be visual Easter eggs that kind of gave special nods to the Force Unleashed in the show. Obviously, with Sam Witwer being front and stage and stuff. So here's my thought. Obviously, I could be completely wrong. I'm just throwing fun stuff out there. Let's say that the Inquisitors are not enough to handle Maul and his cronies, but Vader doesn't want to get involved just yet. What if there's a buffer between the Inquisitorius and Vader, and nobody knows about it except for Vader? I'm talking about Starkiller.
Right. Or even if we had like
fun?
it would be fun. It'd be problematic for a lot of reasons, but it would also be cool if we had Proxy come back.
Oh yeah, that would be crazy. That would be super crazy.
Because I think in this timeline with Force Unleashed, Vader was the one who had manufactured Proxy. And so
Yes,
if we
I
had
think so, yeah.
kind of a replication of that concept where you have Vader creating basically a chameleon Jedi assassin droid,
Yeah,
that would be a lot of fun.
that would be crazy. Yeah, I think it's not that I really expected. This is like me really throwing a crazy one out there. But if you had a Force Unleashed character like Proxy, like Starkiller, it would be a fun moment just for the simple fact that if there is or let's say that Morok's, helmet is knocked off at some point and the face underneath looks like Sam Witwer or something like that. Just it'll be fun because I would just Morok in Ahsoka is voiced by Sam Witwer, but they gave a different actor his lines for the show, obviously because of Maul. But I was thinking last night before I looked it up and saw that Morok's voice was somebody else. I was like, dude, what if you had like a Starkiller Morok Maul showdown and it's just Sam Witwer just screaming at himself, 3 different dialogues.
That's awesome.
But yeah, realistically, like we could get all kinds of stuff. Like this is the same time that like the Bad Batch is out and about, so we could get a Bad Batch cameo. We could get a Crosshair cameo if he's, he would still be Imperial at this
That'd be pretty
point.
neat.
I mean, we're very early on in the timeline after Revenge of the Sith, so I do think that Vader's going to show up. I think he's maybe going to be at the end of season 1. I don't see, like, especially now that they're mentioning a season 2, I don't see there being an actual physical conflict between the two. Maybe I just want to hear or see a moment where Vader and Maul like speak for a second or recognize or talk about one another, because they feel so far apart on the grander scale of the story. But in the grand scheme of things, they're really not that far apart. They're really not, like, in the grand scheme of time, Maul is, right there on Tatooine with Anakin.
Time.
Yeah, exactly. So just a couple of fun things. Obviously, we don't want to go super long with this one, but the show is off to a very, very good start. Very, very exciting stuff. Now I'm frustrated because I have to wait a whole nother week till the next 2 episodes come out. So
I know,
lots of
dude.
stuff to look forward to. And
Yeah,
I think it'll be fun, dude. I think there'll be a lot of cool stuff. We did a Bosk episode just recently. Obviously, we took a little break to get you moved and everything, but our most recent episode was about Bosk. And then first thing you know, we got a couple of syndicates, and who are there? The Trandoshans. So that was fun.
Hey, maybe it's a trap, boys.
He's always trying to get the best of us. I can't remember he said something that was funny. He's always trying to get one over on us or something like that. I can't remember, but thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out, Samuel, for a little bit. And we'll do this again next week when parts 3 and 4 are out. Remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel, follow us everywhere. You can find us on Instagram and TikTok. And remember, the Force will be with you always.
Yeah, drop a little comment. Let us know if you think indulgent is overused in chocolate commercials. And also, remember, the only family you have here is me.
We'll see you next time.